The greatest generation. How many of you are here? The greatest. You remember something called December 7th, 1941. You were the subject of the Tom Brokaw's book. And we have a younger generation here today. And as a teacher, you know, we often wonder how young people are going to be able to deal with all of this and all the ups and downs and things that have happened. Because Veterans Day was always good for veterans, but now as a result of the World Trade Center and all that happened September 11th, we now, as a country, we need to honor the heroism of firefighters, of policemen, of medical personnel out there. And it's been very difficult over the years. Normally on Veterans Day, we would say thank the vet and so forth, but now we also need to as a community. When we see a firefighter, when we see a police officer, thank you for putting your life on the line for us. And some of you young people, if you have trouble sometimes dealing with what's happening in the world today, all the things that are going on, the war, this is where I'd like you to consider talking to one of these older people, or someone in your neighborhood who's older, the gray hair, the wisdom, the greatest generation, and sit down and ask them how they dealt with things. Because they'll tell you all about Guadalcanal, Iwo Jima, a beach in Normandy in France, and another beach called Omaha, which is not in Nebraska. They'll tell you about a thing called D-Day. They'll tell you about people like Eisenhower and Patton and MacArthur and other great people. They'll tell you how in those days, some houses had a star on the window, and how people, there was a meaning for that. I mean, they had a soldier in the war. And sometimes a sad day would come where an army vehicle would drive up to that car and deliver a message from the President of the United States that their son or daughter had been killed in action. So young people, don't be afraid to talk to the older generations here today in your neighborhood, anywhere around, because we're in for it, and we need to remember what our president has said, to get involved in the community. The late John Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, rather ask what you can do for your country. Get involved. So now what we'd like to do, we'd like to invite, if the talent acts are over there, I'm not sure, and parents or anyone, if you'd like to come on the stage, there was a song quite a few years ago called We Are the World. We're videotaping this. Next week, the Police and Fire in Taunton, the Police and Fire Department in Taunton are presenting a special program, Roseland Ballroom, to raise money for their brothers out in New York City. So there'll be information about that in the back, but we'd like to do our own little tribute to those fallen firefighters and policemen, and of course keeping in Veterans Day, the veterans who've allowed us the freedom to be able to do this type of show. So as that music starts, please, We Are the World.